a lot to me and Jake's relationship. I know all of us have stories about, our own alone time with Jake, things that you guys would do and things that you would talk about. But one thing that me and Jake really connected on was a famous philosopher, and his name was Alan Watts. Alan Watts once said, when you find out who you really are, what you do is what the whole universe is doing at the place that you and I call here and now. The real you is not a puppet in which life pushes around. The real deep down you is one of the whole universe. Doesn't it really astonish you that you and I are this fantastically complex thing, and we are doing all of this, and none of us had any education on how to do it? You don't know how to shine in the sun, you just do. And me and Jake spend a lot of hours talking about that. I, much like all of us, never expected to be together today mourning our boy Jacob. Today should be like any other, one of just chilling with the boys, talking crap. One with Jake wrestling around with his friends the way that he used to as a kid with Tyler and his brother Bryce, back when they used to throw flower bags at each other at Lynn's house. Or one of him just chilling on the couch watching Naruto with Mo and his friends. And for anybody who knows Jake, knows that he took anime pretty seriously. Back in early September, my fiancée Melissa, she had a costume for one of our boys. It was a Naruto costume, but she referred to it as a Goku costume, and he very quickly was there to remind her that that's Naruto, and please put some respect on me. Jake was always a kid at heart, and he loved children himself. For somebody, Jake was always a kid at heart, and he loved children himself. He told me that he had plans to have them himself one day, even after watching all his friends feeling overwhelmed sometimes raising their own children. For someone who never had any kids, he was always so great around them. Between Larissa and Mo, and Ty and Ray and Brianna and Chris and Melissa and I, and based on this room, because there's a lot of us, I'm sure that there's more. We all watched him dance and wrestle and hop around with our kids till they were all blue in the face. I swear, I've had my dog since 2009, and even as a puppy, he never quite danced the way that Jake would get him going. He had such an inviting nature to him, didn't he? Being the bear he was, and it's funny that you mentioned, being the bear that he was, those hugs just hit differently, didn't they? Oh, what I would do to have another hug by you, brother. A load of us took Jacob to his first music festival last month, and there were thousands of forever memories that took place there. And on that Saturday at this festival, Melissa and I were with Jake in this massive crowd, tens of thousands of people. And as we were dancing, a complete stranger just beelined right through the crowd, right to Jake. And then she took her hand and she put it on Jake's shoulder and she just sat there in deep breathe, almost like a meditation tactic. She came up and laid her hand on his shoulder, and you could tell that she was a bit overwhelmed as she stood there. So I leaned over to break the silence and I said, "Hey, why hello?" And she responded, "I'm lost and I can't find anyone I know. I'm not used to crowds like this, and I've seen your friend, and he seems nice and comforting. Can I please stay with you guys for a while?" So she hung out with us for a couple hours, and we all had a great time dancing together. By the time we got to that last show, we were all getting pretty rowdy in the crowd, as you guys would expect. At this moment, we were front row, Jake, Melissa, and I. One of our favorite duos was playing, and in the middle of the set, I wrapped my face on the rail. And next thing I know, there was blood coming down my face and on my forehead. So I'll pause. A while back, Jacob went to his first show up in Michigan with his friends Justin and Raymond, and he bought this patch. It was the first patch that he's ever bought, and he wore this thing everywhere, and I'm sure you guys have seen it before. He has it on the memorial shirt picture that Shannon and Brianna are organizing. He loved this thing. So when I busted my forehead on the guardrail, he took that and he threw it at me and he helped me wrap my head up to stop the bleeding because I'm telling you it was gushing. We got out of the crowd and we got to finish that set together, and that will always be my forever memory with our girl. He loved dancing with all of us. It's how we all bonded as a squad, as the squad we are now. Good times, good laugh, good music, and as Jake would say, a whole lot of sheesh. Jake liked making people laugh. His silly little jokes that he would say, like, what if Pickle Rick ate pickle wraps? Just to get a little chuckle out of somebody. Jake loved hiking. He loved breathing in nature. Tyler and Shannon told me a story about when they took Jake to New York to Letchworth Park. And dead middle of winter time, trying to hike a trail, they were all falling all over the snow, all over themselves, and that was just a fond memory that they told me about. I also found it so funny that Jake, being the nature guy that he was, oh geez, if there was a spider within a mile radius, it was all over. From working with him, I know that I have a few dings on my shins after the amount of times that Jake would just pick up wood, and the moment he's seen a little spidey, Jake was serious about loving and respecting one another. A few months back, a coworker of ours wanted to plan a golf trip with us, and I remember cracking a joke about us spending every day together. And Jake was quick to hit me, and he said, hey man, don't be a turd. He said, he's trying to make plans with us, that's nice. Now, I didn't even think about it because it's just my humor, but, I guess he was right, Back in the day, Jake stayed with Chris for a while. Chris and his mom, Teresa, got into it, and Chris admits that, on this day, he was being a little punk, And Jake wasn't having that, so he chased Chris down and put him in a good old-fashioned headlock until he apologized to his mom. Jake and Dominic used to hang out at Pop's and Emily's house when they were kids. They had some fake cigarettes, and Jake's mom, Emily, she wasn't having that. She threatened to take everybody home immediately if he didn't hand those over, and naturally, Jake. So, I'll finish with this, guys. Jake meant a lot to everyone, to all of us. And if he meant something to you, and you are here, so I expect that he does, talk about him. Love him, even though he isn't here with us anymore. Remember the good times that you had with Jacob. Whether you knew him for his whole life or just for a few months, know that you can grieve too. Know that he hears you, and know that he loves you back. When we leave this church today, know that all of us are just a little bit closer now because of him. So be good to one another. So as we say goodbye together to Jake, know that you are not alone in this, because without our boy, none of us will ever sheesh the same.
Sheesh.
Good stories. Anyone else? Well, even if you don't feel comfortable sharing right now, I hope when we meet for lunch, or dinner after the service, that you do continue to share memories. And as he said, keep talking. Keep talking. Tell stories. And know that Jake is smiling. Let us pull out the hymn one more time. Let's see if I get the number right this time. Yes.
Sound good?